this is Tina from Shabbydabbydoodah. Welcome back to my channel. So super excited because we're on our part 2 of our decorating up our junk journal toppers. If you followed my video yesterday, which was the mass making video, we were making the blanks for the toppers, and this is kind of, you know, what we've ended up with is a bunch of these. And today I thought, oh, we are going to have such a lot of fun. So I've dragged along, wow, I mean, you name it, I've brought it along, to be honest. My desk's now, wow, even more covered in stuff than it was previously. I literally have things everywhere. So yeah, I've got some rusted safety pins. I've got a whole bunch of flowers that I've made. I've got snippets and clusters that we've made previously. I've got buttons. These are some that I have patinaed, and then I have some buttons, the old buttons from my nan. I've got some book plates and things. I have got some of these jabbets, I think they're called jabbets, that we have made previously. I have got some of my stamps on fabric and things. Just anything really that I thought might just work on a junk journal topper. And then I've got a whole bunch of laces and trims and things like that. Trying my best to use things that I've received in Happy Mail and not keep hoarding them. So yeah, I've got a whole bunch of lace and things like that here as well. And of course I've got my distress inks and, you know, what have you as well. So I'm just going to pop these onto my lap so that they're out of the way. Otherwise I've just not even got, you know, enough room to actually work here. So let's put things in piles. So I'm just going to put my fabric flowers there. Going to put, you know, potential kind of pieces as toppers just one side over there, and yeah, let's just get working. So I'm thinking, you know, if we're not that fast, we might have to do this as a 3-parter even, but you know, you'll probably be pretty bored by then because it will just be more of the same. But I'm thinking these are just going to be such fun that yeah, I can kind of picture this going over maybe a third video. But like I say, I'm not sure whether you'd all be that's interested seeing it for a third time, but we'll see. Right, so let's just start with this one. I'm not kind of doing it in any particular order, but this one was just, you know, the one that was at the top. So let's get going with this. So let's ink it up and make it look nice and vintagey. So just, whoops, just put the ink on around it, just to get rid of that kind of really new look of the fabric. I mean, I don't particularly need to go over the back too much because it's that green. It's not really kind of doing a lot, but it is doing quite a bit here on this like ivory colour. Well, it's like a champagne colour actually. It's really pretty. So, okay. And you can probably see my fabrics now, you know, shedding threads everywhere. But that's fine because that's just making it look more, you know, more rustic. Okay, so let's have a look and see what we're going to put on here as one of our toppers. So this is where I just find that I've just brought along a whole bunch of completely unsuitable things. I did bring along some of my little frames that we made previously. Now you can probably see, but I mean, obviously once they get stiff, you know, they crack. So I mean, like if I just bend that, oh, now it's not doing it, of course, but it has cracked in a couple of places. Personally, I don't mind that. I think that's almost, you know, quite nice because it makes it look even more vintage. But I thought these were also quite a, you know, lovely thing to be able to use on these toppers. So if you made any of these with me when we did these recently, you know, you might want to kind of bring some of these along because I think they're just going to work really, really well on here. And I've also got some clusters and things that I've made previously, which again, I just thought they might work quite nicely here too. So just want to check because I don't want to put the wrong thing on the wrong thing, if you see what I mean. So like, for instance, this, I mean, to be honest, it looks quite nice on this one, doesn't it? I think it does look nice on this too. Oh, that's just such a tough choice, isn't it? Oh. Okay, all right, let me just bring my, because I quite like this in this frame. So let's just have a look. Oh gosh, no, definitely not that. Okay, right, let's just go for this. I'm just going to be having to go for these, otherwise we'll be here like literally the whole day. So I'm going to have that there. And then I'm just going to bring in some of my little lace trims and things that are now you know, sat in my lap. So hold on. And I mean, of course, you know, I'm not trying to kind of totally emulate the one that we did previously. I'm just drawing inspiration from that to create some little, you know, little toppers to use. So, I mean, something like that. I'm thinking she needs a bit of lace kind of maybe poking out behind her. Just grabbing some little scraps and I think that I've got laying about. I mean, that's quite pretty, isn't it? And yeah, as I say, I've brought along some of my rusty safety pins. Actually, I don't think they're really going to show up a great deal on there, so I might not go for those. Let's have a look. I have these Jabbot things that we made. I mean, that's quite nice, isn't it? Or even kind of quite nice at the top, to be honest. Let's just have a look at that, or maybe at the bottom. Oh, that's quite nice, isn't it? Okay, right. Let's just seeing what lace I've got sat here that I could just put behind her because, yeah, I think she needs a kind of bigger piece, really. I have got some green that I had dyed previously with some food colour in. Let's just chop that down. So I hope everyone's having a good day. Oh, the sun is shining here again. It's just lovely. Just makes you feel so good once the sun's shining, doesn't it? So yeah, hopefully spring is on its way. Lots of daffodils are out and things like that. It looks so pretty. So pretty everywhere. Although I have to say, it's quite chilly outside this morning. So I've already been out and it is actually quite cold. So yeah, I obviously was overestimating just how warm it was going to be. Right, I'm going to just stick this down here and all I'm going to do is just hot glue it and then the hot glue will you know, hold that lace down. So I'll just take my hot glue right the way around. Okie doke. And just pop her down like that. Now the only thing is when you use hot glue once something's been embossed, it does kind of like remelt the embossing you know, stuff. So that's just something to be a little bit aware of. When you first start pressing it, you might want to be a bit careful because it might, you know, might have just remelted it, if you see what I mean. But I mean, if you just wait literally like 5 seconds, that stops happening and then, you know, it's easy to kind of get to again, if you see what I mean. Right. Now we used quite a few buttons and things on our last one that we did. I mean, like I say, I'm not kind of trying to recreate that or anything. I'm just, you know, merely drawing sort of inspiration from it. But I have these buttons, which were all really bright, you know, buttons that I just wouldn't really use now. And I just used, you know, some of that patina. So the Ranger patina stuff. I mean, I think they are just called patinas, but yeah, I used some of those and coloured some of the buttons, and it worked wonderfully. And you know, they're now much more usable because, you know, we've probably all got those buttons, haven't we, that we've bought over time, and then, you know, you just think, oh, what was I thinking? Why did I buy that? Right, I feel like I'd like a bit more lace somewhere. Let me just trim this down. Oops, see if I can just tear this. Okay. Just wonder whether we could just have a little bit of lace kind of there. Yeah, that looks pretty, doesn't it? So, oops. I mean, it probably doesn't matter, but I just noticed that I'd kind of swapped those buttons out, so just swap them back. Okay, and then this one. And the great thing is with that patina, because I've noticed that I can still see like a little bit of yellow coming through on this button here, I can just go over that with my finger and just kind of dab that in. It's, you know, it's pretty good stuff that you can just kind of go back in if you need to and touch up any little bits that you've got, you know, bits missing. Right, do we need any more lace on this? I know it's like, you know, lace overkill now, but you know me, just can't help myself really. But let's just go tear that down. Oops, get rid of that, which is like really frayed now. I mean, I know that's just really strange having that to the side, but you know, I quite like things like that, to be honest. So yeah, let's just kind of pop that down. Oops. Like that. Yeah, like that. Okay. Oops. Oh, how pretty does that look? Love it. Super, super, super pretty. Okay, so that's one down. So, yep, that was 11 minutes, which is pretty good, isn't it? I mean, obviously, all of the elements that we've used are, you know, they're already made. So, I mean, you know, that's why it's obviously taken so little time. But, you know, that's just great because that's now ready to go onto a junk journal cover. Oops, I forgot to just stick this lace down. That's just ready now to go onto a junk journal cover. And, you know, it will just make pulling a junk journal cover so quick and easy to just be able to just stick something like this on. So I'm just going to put them down behind me as I kind of work through them. And then, you know, I'll pull in a junk journal cover and we'll just kind of see how they would look. So let's pull in the next one. Okay, I mean, I have got that man who I think looks quite good on there, but I think I'm going to go for this actually on here. So this again, this is just a cluster, but it's just held together with a staple. So I'm going to just hot glue this down because I don't want it, you know, flapping around. And again, I'm just going to ink this all up, you know, so it doesn't just look like a bunch of brand new fabric. Just need to be a bit careful here because I have got that really holy, you know, thready hessian, which of course, if I kind of rough it up too much, I'm just going to pull all the hessian out and we'll have like none left visible. So I'm just kind of trying to, you know, mainly go round on the green edge. Okay. And to be honest, I don't think it's going to really do anything on this because this is quite a dark green. Well, maybe it's doing a bit more than I thought. I don't know. Okay. Yeah, like that. And let's bring in that cluster. I mean, that cluster is so pretty on there, isn't it? Just looks really, really, really pretty. And yeah, let's have a look and see what lace I have here. So as I say, I did bring along some of my some of my lace that I've had in hoarding, you know, since receiving it in Happy Mail. And yeah, I thought that I would come along and use it. I mean, oh my gosh, how lovely does that look? Oh, yummy. Okay, let's just cut that down. So I'm just going to put that there. And then I'm just going to literally stick this down again, like holding that lace piece down. So I'm just going to go in here with the hot glue to kind of, you know, make sure that's held together nicely. And then I'm just going to stick this whole piece down like over that lace, and that's going to hold the lace down enough that then I can go back in with some more glue for the, you know, for the lace. So let's just go in with the glue for the cluster. Okay. Oops. Oh, that's so pretty, isn't it? Yeah, I love how that looks. It's gorgeous. Okay, and I'm just going to stick this down because, of course, this is now, you know, flapping around. So just pop that down there. Okay. Right, now I wonder if we could have a couple of those safety pins. No, maybe not. I keep pulling them in now. I'm just going to keep pulling them in for the whole thing. You know, trying to use them. Let's see if any of my flowers that I brought along would work. These might be a little bit too big and kind of just drowning the whole thing, because this is quite big. So I feel, you know, if I then have a really big flower too, it's like, you know, too many big elements going on there. Oh, I mean, it's a shame that this one doesn't really go colour-wise, because how pretty does that look? You know, that's kind of more the delicate type of thing, I think, that I need on here. And I've got this, but wow, that just looks silly, doesn't it? Right, okay, none of those seem to be doing the trick. So let's have a look. I've got some of those little fabric sort of postcard things. Oh, you see, I was doing so well, and now just I've gone into overthinking mode and just now going to be yep, dithering around now. It probably won't take only 11 minutes to do this one. That's all I can say. We're just on that slippery slope of now just dithering and dilly-dallying about. I mean, I don't know whether it can kind of take the two things. You see, the thing is, I don't think it can take the two things, but then when I move it away, it just looks really boring. So, you know, it clearly does need something, doesn't it? But whether or not it needs that is a whole nother thing. So I've got some other trims here, so I'm just going to have a look. Oh no, that's not right, is it? No, I don't think that's right. Okay, let me just bring in some of my buttons. So these are the buttons that, you know, from my nan before she passed away. So these are all kind of vintage buttons. And I used these obviously in my, you know, my original one that I did from the Pinterest pics as well. So it's really nice to be able to use some of these. I've got another green one. Oh, that's quite pretty. I quite like it just looking like that, actually. Okay, let me just pop this down. I mean, obviously, I don't want them all looking the same, you know, because that would just make all the journals just really boring. So, you know, hopefully they're all going to have sort of unique look to them. Yeah, really love how that looks. I still can't decide about that stamp. Kind of wish I hadn't tried it there now. Just going to try one of those little patina buttons and just see. That's not really patinaed enough. It really, you know, really does need more on there. Right, okay, let's, oh, sorry, chucking my, oh my gosh, chucking the button around now. Okay. Yeah, super pretty. Right, for this one, I'm thinking kind of, could we put some trim on there? Let me just see. I've got some more of that lovely pearly trim. Let's just try this. Oops. Don't know why I cut that down in two. That's like not probably going to be very handy to use for anything now. Right. Oh, that's quite pretty, isn't it? Okay, right. So I'm just going to pop this down with some hot glue. So this is just a postage stamp that's obviously been stitched onto the lace. So I'm just going to literally hot glue this down. Again, I mean, you could use your Fabri-Tac. I'm just using the hot glue because obviously, you know, it's really nice and quick when you're doing a video and you don't have to then be worrying whether it's actually, you know, stuck down or not. So, yeah. But I mean, you could use Fabri-Tac or, you know, any other glue that you get on well with. Okay. so pretty. Yeah, love how that looks now. Really, really pretty. I haven't actually glued this lace down, so it is still kind of flapping around a bit. But, I mean, I can just kind of dab in some little bits of hot glue there and, you know, press that down. So, yeah. I mean, obviously it's not really glued down here, but that's fine because these two pieces have kind of secured it on. It's not glued down at the top, so I could possibly add just a little bit more hot glue there. So. Okay. Oh, I love how that looks. It's so pretty. Okay, let me just pop that one down. What's the time? Oh my goodness, it's like 20 minutes. We've done that one quicker, would you believe? Well, I don't know if we did actually, because I was chatting at first, wasn't I? We didn't kind of get the camera going and just instantly do a piece, did we? Right, so again, let's just ink this up. I'm actually flabbergasted at how quickly we're getting through these. Maybe we will just manage to do quite a few after all. Okay, just go in there like that. Okey-doke. Right, threads galore here, so let's just, oh gosh, let's just cut some of those off. Okay. And that one. I mean, I'm not worried about the threads around the edge because I quite like that. But just anywhere where they were like literally, you know, across the whole centre of the thing, then that was not great really. Right, let's have a look and see what we want for this one. So I did wonder about this. Let me just see. Oh, I'm thinking maybe that for that. Yeah, maybe that for that. I don't know. Might change my mind yet, but okay, let's see what else. That's quite nice on there, isn't it? Yeah. I did also bring along some of those stitched labels that we did as well. I mean, she is quite nice on there, or, you know, that cluster is quite nice on there. So I'm just going to just ink this up. Just so it's not looking quite so bright. Because it was looking a little bit on the bright side, wasn't it? Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's quite nice, I think. Let's have a look and see. So obviously I have the lace that we've, you know, just used on the other one as well. So we could do something with that, or what other lace do I have? I've got my favourite, which is that crochet lace. I mean, that just always looks lovely, I think. You know, always seems to just work, you know, wherever it is. So we could have that. I don't know whether this is a little bit small for this. Is it looking a little bit, you know, tiny? And, you know, not really making a big enough impact. So, nope, 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 nope. Oh, I have this coffee dyed lace. Maybe this would be better because maybe it's a bit tiny. Oh, that's quite nice at the top. Right, let me just trim this down. I don't know yet whether I'm going to use this, but let's trim it down and, you know, so that we can see. Okay, so if that was to go there. And then maybe this one would need, you know, one of the book plates. So that's quite nice, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Just wondering whether this needs like lace either, you know, top and bottom. Mm-hmm. Oh, I don't know. Let's just trim this down. I mean, that's quite nice, I think, isn't it? again, we have those safety pins on here. I only brought the safety pins along because we used the safety pins, you know, in the previous one. But to be honest, you know, I'm not sure really that they're quite right yet on any of the pieces we've used so far. Got this flower which has no centre, which weirdly I had this little brad, which again I'd done that faux rusting, you know, technique on that. But I just pulled it in because I thought, oh, that might just go with something. And actually, obviously, because it picks up the blue from the, you know, the ladies there, perhaps it's the piece for this. Let's just ink this up a bit. Okay. I didn't count up actually how many we did yesterday. So yeah, you know, I'm not sure how many that we actually did get done. Right, yeah, definitely I'm going to glue these little lace strips down there. Just wondering whether to get rid of that bottom bit, which I just always find it's quite a harsh edge, isn't it? And, you know, just doesn't look quite so good. Oops. Okay. I know, lots of you are probably thinking, what? And she thinks that looks good. What is she talking about? It's now just like torn strands. But for some reason that kind of works better for me. Yeah, kind of prefer it for some reason. It was just looking a bit like uniform really. So right, I'm just going to again just hot glue this down and like that. And then this brad, because this is like a fabric flower, I probably would struggle to, you know, put this through and then poke those things out. So I'm just going to cut those little leg things off and hope I don't damage the brad to the point where it actually won't glue in. Right, let's just cut those off. I have got those little metal plier things, but I thought it's not very thick metal and the scissors would probably work. Yeah, okay. So that looks pretty, doesn't it? And yeah, I quite like how that looks, to be honest. So I think what I'm going to do, sorry, I'm just fidgeting around on my chair now. I do apologise. Now, do I want to have this same whole scruffy look with my top bit of lace? Or do you think we should just, you know, be a bit neater at the top? Just turning it round because, of course, it's, you know, like double-ended. So we'll just see how that looks. Oh, I'm going to tear that top piece off from that top one as well. Okay. Okay, whoops. Just flicking it out the way now. Yeah, that looks really pretty. Pretty in that scruffy kind of way. Okay. Right, let's just glue that down. Super gorgeous. Okay, right, so I'm going to then just pop this down here and yeah, I mean, I quite like having the journal plate, or we could just have the journal plate, you know, in the middle, to be honest. Looks super pretty in the middle as well. Oh, this flower I'm feeling is a little bit fat. Just wonder whether I could peel off the bottom layer. Oh, I don't know whether I can. Oh, I don't think I can. It seems to be... Oh, okay. Yeah, it's one of those that I've done sort of double-ended. So, yeah, I won't be able to do that. But that's fine. I can just pop it down, you know, like this instead. So, yeah, I think that looks pretty. So I'm just going to glue that middle blue piece in. Okay. Whoops. Okay, yeah, I love how that looks. Let's just see if we want to have a couple of these patina buttons, maybe kind of across the top. They look pretty, don't they? Whoops. Okay, yep, I like how that looks, and yeah, I do like how that looks. Okay, right. So yeah, I'm just going to kind of pop them on like that. I mean, again, you know, if I need to kind of touch up that patina stuff, then I can just do that once they're stuck on here. It's you know, it's easy to do. Okay. And then this one. Okay, oops, just to get that big blob of hot glue out. Oh gosh, out of there. Oh, sometimes do you just wish that you hadn't touched something and wonder why you did touch it in the first place. That was just one of those moments. So I'm just going to put that little, I mean, it's not a cluster, it's actually part of a snippet roll that I made, but you know, I've now torn it apart, so it's got the effect of a cluster. So I'm just going to stick that down. Okay. Just press that kind of nice and flat. And I mean, I could always go over these with like glossy accents or the embossing glaze or something. You know, if I decide that I'd quite like this to be glossy instead of matte, you know, then I can always go over it with the glossy accents or something. I'm just going to put this to the side, I think. Okay. Oh, I love how that looks. It's so pretty. Have I done 3 now? Yeah, this is the 3rd one. So I think I am slowing down. I had to stop the camera just now, so I've lost track now of how long this one's taken. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that I'm probably slowing down now. I was super quick, I thought, with the first couple. Like, by my standards, it was like, wow, they came together really fast. And yeah, now I'm obviously slowing down, going back to my usual self. Okay. So, I mean, I love that. Now, obviously you can see, I mean, it's quite bottom heavy at the moment, if you see what I mean, because of that flower. But I mean, once this is stuck down onto a journal page, that's not going to be an issue at all. It's, you know, it's merely because it's kind of like a flappy, loose piece at the moment. But yeah, once it's actually stuck onto a journal, it will be fine. Just give that a helping hand there. Okay. Don't know whether I need a little bit under here. Yeah. Yay. Oh, I love how that looks. That's so pretty, and weirdly just not at all how I thought I was going to do that one with that mustardy colour, to be honest. Okay, right. Oh, should we tackle this one? Now, this was that one that I did that white edging, you know, on either side, and yeah, I'm still not quite sure, to be honest, that wasn't a bit of a mistake. But let's try this and see how we're going to do this one. Now, of course, do I want to actually ink this up? In which case my white lace is probably then going to not look white. Obviously, it's going to then look inky. Or do I want to just leave it? And, well, I don't really want to leave it, to be honest. Because, you know, chances are the journal will be not left. It will be inked up and, you know, looking much more vintage. So, yeah, let's just go for it. Okay. So again, I mean, it's having minimal effect really on the teal colour, because obviously that's dark, but okay. Oops. Just go down that edge where it's like underneath that lace. I mean, probably not really necessary, but whilst I'm here, I might as well do it. Oh, I can't wait to have a bunch of these done. This is just going to be awesome. I've never really done journal toppers before, I don't think. Maybe once or twice, but yeah, I've never had a bunch of them like ready to go. I'm sure I said that when I did the Pinterest series, you know. So this is going to be like a first, and actually really cool to have, you know, some things ready. Oh, I can't even see whether that's up the right way or the wrong way. I think it's up the right way. Just wondering whether I could have one of those little stamps, not sure. Oh, this might be one for one of those, you know, ribbon thingies that we did last week. Let's have a look. Oh, and also, yeah, I nearly forgot that I've got all those little trims. So I've got this one as well from a Happy Mail, which this I think would look quite pretty on here, wouldn't it? Because it's got quite a delicate look, and this is super delicate. So or we could have it kind of at the bottom. I quite like it down, you know, running down the side, I think. So yeah, okay, right, let's just pop this down. Okay. Okay, just trim that off there. Whoops. Oh, come on. Yeah, that looks pretty. And oh, I was going to have those things, wasn't I? Just they were sat right there in front of my face, and still I almost forgot that I'd bought them here. Oh my gosh, how cute does that look? I love how that looks on there. That's such a perfect colour, because the you know, this kind of colour just picks up that from the frame. Oh, I love how that looks. That's gorgeous. Okay, right. Oh, that's quite pretty on there too, isn't it? Yeah, love how that looks. Do we want anything else? Do we want like anything, you know, coming out behind the frame or anything like that? Maybe not that particular piece. Let's just have another look. Just seeing what other stuff I've got here bunched up in my lap, you know, that I brought along. I mean, that's quite pretty, to be honest. If I take it away, see, again, it just instantly feels quite boring now, doesn't it? So, yeah, I'm kind of now got no choice but to go with it. Oh, has that got a right or a wrong side? Yeah, I think it has. It's hard to see. Oh, yeah, I think this is the right. Yeah, this is the right side. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of have that going on there, hopefully just on the blue, really, not necessarily kind of on the yellow, but whoops, just on that blue. Okay. Okay, that's that one. Just trim it down here. Just need to be careful I don't actually cut into this thing, because, you know, that is likely to happen, as you know. Yeah, I love how that looks. It's so pretty. I love this on here. It's really gorgeous, isn't it? Yeah, really, really, really pretty. I mean, I have got sort of other, you know, some more of these. Or do we think that's just like, whoa, too much? Too much? Yeah, that's probably too much, but I mean, I have this one with a button. I mean, I'm just sort of playing around with this one, really, because, I mean, of course, that's the same ribbon that bow is, so we could use that. I'm going to stick this down. Obviously, because, like I say, this is quite, not curly, but, you know, curling up. So, yeah, I want to get it, you know, flattened down on the page so that I can then, you know, see it properly, if you see what I mean. So, let's get this glued down. So, again, just kind of go around with the hot glue. Now, again, this is going to kind of probably wet, not wet, but remelt the, you know, the embossing stuff. So, just kind of give it a couple of seconds to stop remelting it. And then I can press that down. Okay. Yep. Okay. So, I mean, you can probably see, I mean, it's still kind of curling up a little bit, even on the, you know, now it's on the fabric. But, I mean, obviously, once the fabric is stuck onto the, you know, the journal cover, that won't happen anymore. That, you know, that curling kind of effect, it will stop happening altogether. Okay, right. Yeah, I love how that looks with the button and things. So let's just put the button down. So the things that I'm really 100% sure of, I'll just put those down. So love that. And just love, love, love how this looks. Just looks gorgeous, doesn't it? Okay. Okay, right. Yeah, super pretty. And, right. Do we want this one on here, or is that just like too much? Is it just look terrible? I'm not sure. Just get that blob of glue out that was kind of coming out of the buttonhole. It's probably a bit weird going that way, isn't it? But maybe not. Just try a couple of more of those, you know, buttons there. Oh no, that's like overkill now of the buttons. So yeah, not those. Oh, I wondered if we wanted any of the safety pins. Oh, do you think I'm just getting way too much stuff? Oh, I quite like them there, actually. Oh, do you know, I'm just going to go for this. I know it's quite busy, you know, with all of these ribbon things, but I think it looks pretty. Okay, right, let's try and put my safety pins in now. I'm sure I said this last time I used them. Now, I used that method where you rust things, you know, leaving them like on the windowsill for a couple of days in, I think, is it bleach first and then the vinegar, or is it the other way around? I can't remember because it's a really long time since I did these, but, and it worked wonderfully, and I was really thrilled because obviously I had really rusty looking things. The only thing that I have found is if you touch them too much, the rust is a little bit, you know, has a tendency to wipe off. So, yeah, it's a bit of a shame. So I'm trying not to, I was going to say trying not to overhandle it, but as I'm saying it, there I am handling it like way too much. So, yeah, in an ideal world, I wouldn't handle it too much, but obviously in this world, I just am handling it all the time. Okay, right, that's that one. And then just put this one here. I mean, to be honest, maybe it just could do with one. It's not really kind of laying very flat. It's a bit kind of sticky uppy. Let me see if I make a better job with this one. I mean, I guess you could probably just glue these on, to be honest. So they are, you know, technically laying flat completely. Oh, come on. Come on. Oh gosh, now look, I'm just bending my safety pin completely. Oh, look at it. It's lost its shape completely. Right. Oh, this is not really my type of my type of thing to be doing. Oh, anything a bit fiddly, and it's just not for me. Oh, come on. Oh, can't even see whether that's coming through or not. I think it is. Right, okay. Oh, come on. My gosh, what's going on? Yeah, this is this is the part of the video that, you know, most normal people would probably just edit it out, but yeah, I'll just leave it in. So, oh my gosh. Come on, come on. Oh, every time I touch the safety pin, it kind of pokes back out. So, yeah, do you know, I might just take them out. Oh my goodness, what is going on with me? Right. Oh, they just look awful now. Oh, after all of that, they just look rubbish and, yeah, ridiculous. Let me just take that out. Hold on. Oh. Maybe kind of should, you know, take advice there, you know. If it doesn't want to go in, it's no point forcing it, is there? It's not kind of meant to be there for some reason. It's, you know, it's just not going to look great. So, yeah. Oh, shall I leave that safety pin in there? I mean, we've got that one in and that one didn't have a struggle, did it? So, well, we'll leave it there. Okay, right. I mean, I can always take it out when I come to use it. I don't know, after all that mucking about getting it in, I can always take it back out. Okay, let me put that one on the floor. Oh my goodness, have we got time for one more? Yeah, let's do one more. Okay, right, which one should we do? Should we do a red one? Because we haven't done anything remotely red. So yeah, let's do one of these. So I stitched these with the black thread. So yeah, let's do one of these. I don't know quite. Oh, what should we put on here? Let's have a look. What did I bring along? I mean, obviously I did bring along some of the Tim Holtz people. So, I mean, I could always use a Tim Holtz person. But I've got some other bits as well. I mean, they're kind of nice in there, but a bit clashy. Although I quite like them. What would happen is when I come to use them, I would feel they probably didn't go with my journal. Now, I've got some of my vintage photos here, and these are my kind of architecture ones. So I'm just going to cut this out. Actually, I have to say it was somebody else's idea, and I really apologise, but I can't remember who suggested. But somebody had suggested using some of my architecture images for these toppers. So yeah, I really apologise that I can't remember who it was. But if you are watching this, thank you so much. What a great idea. Because I probably wouldn't have thought to pull these in, to be honest. And, you know, hopefully they're going to look really pretty. So, yeah, I quite like how that looks. Okay, let's have a look and see if we can kind of liven the whole look of this up now. So I quite like it with that. Let me just, again, ink around this. Again, I don't know quite how much this is really going to particularly show because, you know, that red obviously is darkish, so might not really show too much. But and I don't want to ink the Hessian too much again because I don't want to just, like, you know, shred it to nothing. Okay. Just go around like that and okay, right. Okay, let's just ink up the image here. Okay. So that's quite nice, isn't it? And right, what are we going to put with this? Is it me, or does this look actually quite drab? I thought it was going to look really, really pretty, but yeah, maybe it looks a bit on the drab side. Oh, let's just bring in some more drab colours to really brighten it up. You know, if it wasn't drab enough, let's just bring in some more drab stuff. Right, just going to try that there. I've got some of my little gem things. Wonder if there's a red one in here. I can't see a red one. I got these from eBay. I know I've mentioned these before. They came from China, so I had to wait, you know, a little while. I actually ordered the wrong size. I thought they were going to be bigger than this because I've had them before in the past and they were bigger. So when these arrived, yeah, I was a little bit sort of disappointed because I thought, they're a little bit on the small side. But actually, I quite like them. You know, I like the big ones too, but, you know, the small are actually quite nice too. So, yeah, perhaps we'll perhaps we'll have one of those. Now, what else does this need? Oh gosh, not that. Definitely not that. I've got another one of those Jabbet things. Oh no, that doesn't really look quite right either. Unless we have that instead of all that. Or do we think that this is like too drab and I should go for something a bit brighter? I've got like this. So these are my lady lockets, and these are like the set 2. I just wondered, should we go for like more of a red feel here? Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Whoops. I actually wouldn't mind having something, you know, more florally, to be honest, on here. I'm trying to think, you know, whilst I'm cutting this, my mind's kind of wondering what else I've got in my stash ready cut, because I don't want to have to go and now print something off. But yeah, just wondering whether I've got anything else that might be remotely suitable for this. And again, I mean, this is where I wish that I was live, because then you could all just tell me what it needs. Yeah, maybe I prefer it with kind of that type of thing on there instead. So we can always use that architecture one for something else. Again, I have got this, which was from Happy Mail. Yeah, these are all those gorgeous bits that I have just been hoarding. So I really am trying to make an effort with the not hoarding Happy Mail things this year. So so far I'm being quite good. I am using quite a bit of stuff. Let's hope I continue. You know, best laid plans and all that. Let's hope that I remain good. Okay. Yeah, I quite like that. Now, do we want some lace or something behind her? Or, you know, behind them. Because maybe it's a little bit too drab. So let's just chop that down. Okay. Oh, perhaps. Which way round? Which way round? I don't know why I always put things on the right. I don't know what that's about. I don't know whether it's right-handed people do that, or whether it's just me who does that. It's weird, isn't it? It doesn't really go, does it? Oh, let me just pull in those things again. Now, would you believe we made all of those, and I can't see any that have red on them at all. I have got that one. Oh, that's quite nice. I know that is kind of a bit drab actually, but there's something about it that's quite nice, even though it's looking a bit on the drab side. I know that's purple and clearly doesn't really go at all, but you know, it's just worth trying, isn't it, sometimes? Right, okay, let me just put these out the way, because otherwise I'm just running out of space here, to be honest. Let's get that out the way. Okay. Oh, how many times can you just move the same piece of lace around? It's ridiculous. But, you know, you just have to get it right, don't you? You can't just, you know, sling it down and hope for the best, can you? Because you're just not going to feel happy. when you think back on that piece, you know, I don't know about you guys, but if I'm not happy when it's kind of first done, I'm not going to then suddenly become happy. It's just going to kind of like hang over me like a dark cloud, you know, forevermore. Oh, I quite like it like that. Right. Oh, let's go for this. Right. Okay. So again, I'm just going to kind of hot glue this down, which again, hopefully is just going to kind of hold that lace down in place as well. Okay. Oops. Just try and press that flat. Okay. Right, then I quite like this down here. Now, was I having that flower here? It looks pretty, doesn't it? Just that little bit of pink. It kind of softens the whole thing and just, yeah, just makes it look really pretty, I think. So, go across here. Oops. Just going to stick this down because, of course, you know, we haven't actually glued this down other than trapped it under there. Oh, I might need another hot glue stick in my glue gun. Oh. Okay. Otherwise, I'll be like mid-flow and suddenly my glue will run out. Okay. Whoops. Oh, come on. Yay. Okay. Right, let's just trim this off. Okay, right, and that flower, oh, so pretty. So pretty. Right, do we want any other little gemmy type bits? I mean, I do really like that wax seal, which I know is like really strange because it is a bit drab, but kind of nice. Drab, but kind of nice, really. I mean, I quite like it even sideways on. Strangely enough, yeah, I quite like it just like that. Let's just have a look through my little buttons again. Just see. Do we want like any other little buttons? Oh gosh, not that amount of buttons, no. Right, oh gosh, that looks hideous, doesn't it? Yeah. I just wondered whether we wanted anything else because I thought, oh, you know, that pink was so pretty. I wouldn't have minded having a bit more pink, but yeah, I mean, obviously it didn't really pan out like that. Oh gosh. Sorry, I've got threads now hung all over my hot glue gun. Oh well. Right, put that down. Okay. Oh gosh, that looks terrible. Right, yep. Quite like it like that. What do you think? Yep, I quite like it like that. And this has just got sort of a little bit of, you know, black showing through that button, which actually just picks up like the black thread and looks quite nice, I think. So yeah, let's just go for that. Right. Pop that down there. Oh, should we try and bring in those safety pins again? This one that I've, you know, completely bent up. Should we try and bring in the safety pins again or not? I don't think they're quite right on here, to be honest. Yeah, probably we'll leave those alone. Okay, so I'm going to put the wax seal piece on up there. Looks super pretty. Okay, whoops. Okay, yeah, love how that looks. And oh, do I want anything else? Just looking at all the little trims and things that I've got in my lap to see whether there's anything there that might be kind of cute on here. Right, let me just trim a bit of this off. I could always trim this in half actually, which, yeah, I've only just really thought of that, but let's just see if we want a bit up there. It's quite pretty, isn't it? Let's just trim this in half. Oh gosh. Testing my my skills today for, you know, can I manage to cut something so fiddly, so titchy? Right, so we could have it like that, and then obviously then we've got the other half that we could have at the bottom. It's quite pretty, isn't it? So like without it, yeah, it just, yeah, it definitely looks better with it, doesn't it? It's, again, it's that just always, you know, more is more. Once you've tried it there and you take it away, it always looks better with more stuff, you know. Even if you have your doubts when you're kind of holding it there, once you take it away, it just looks really boring. And, you know, straight away then think, oh, it did look better with that there, actually. Oh, it's super quiet downstairs, isn't it? I don't know what's going on down there, but super quiet. See, everybody is doing their schoolwork. Yeah, I'm doubting that very much. I suspect they're on their devices. It's much more likely, isn't it? The fact it's so silent. Okay, right, so again, I'm just going to kind of glue this like one half and then the other half, so. Okay. Oh my goodness. Super fiddly. Okay, yep, oh my gosh. Yeah, and now just do this one. Oh. I mean, this is like really tiny for me. Yeah, it feels very, very fiddly for me. Okay. Oh, that's so pretty. I love how that looks now. Okay, right. Now, because I've stopped the camera a few times, I haven't got a clue now how long we're up to, but I'm pretty sure, you know, it's dragged on a while. So let me bring in a cover. In fact, I'm just going to bring in probably the same cover that I demonstrated the last one, you know, that we did in the Pinterest series, and we can just have a look and see how these would look. So that's that one. Super pretty, isn't it? You know, and I mean, all you would then have to do on that cover really is, you know, kind of maybe put some lace trim down this edge or something. And I mean, how gorgeous is that as a journal cover? You know, just lovely, just exactly as it is. It wouldn't even need anything else. So that's that one. Let's move that out the way, and I'll just pull in the other ones that we've done. Oh, we actually did 5. Ooh, wow, I think we did quite well doing 5 actually. So that's that one. So I mean, again, you know, not necessarily the cover, you know, that I would actually put this on, but it does look super pretty, doesn't it? You know, already that just looks really nice. And again, you know, like no effort really kind of in making that. Again, you could just team it with some, you know, some other lace or something. I mean, maybe even you could put, I don't know, a flower or something like that, you know, somewhere on the cover. And again, just completely, you know, completely done in like one fell swoop, really. And again, you could just kind of edge it off down there. Oh, sorry, I've got stuff dropping into the desk. So that's that one. Then we did this one. Oh, that one's so pretty, isn't it? Yeah, I love this one. Just love it. It's probably my favourite one. Oh, it's gorgeous. Yeah, really, really pretty. So, I mean, again, you know, same old concept really, but, you know, you could just put some lace on or something, you know, just to finish it off. I mean, to be honest, could probably even put, you know, one of those little things. I haven't got a centre in that one, but, I mean, for example, could just put that on there. And I mean, isn't that just the most gorgeous journal cover? You know, just super simple to do, but wow, how pretty does that look? And all of these elements, you know, we've got made. We've got our covers ready made. We've got now the topper ready made. This ribbon thing is ready made. You know, and this is obviously a ready made gem, you know, shop bought gem. You know, so I mean, it's all just going to be like coming together really, really quickly. So yeah, really, really pretty. So that's that one. Okay, let's bring in the next one. So this is that one. Again, really, really pretty. Just, you know, I don't know whether it would be teamed with white, probably not. But again, I mean, look at how gorgeous that looks. Just having some ivory lace on there, you know, could just chuck on a flower. Yeah, I mean, obviously I haven't really got the right flower maybe, but, you know, obviously I probably have got some flowers that would look good somewhere in my stash. Oh, well, here we go. That one's a bit better. You know, really, really, really lovely, doesn't it? Oh, sorry, I'm just reaching behind me to see. Yeah, I mean, that's not the right colour, but, oh, sorry, I'm just seeing whether I've got any of those little things that we made last week in the right colour. I can't really see any, but I mean, that little wax seal piece, I mean, obviously, you know, didn't do a very good job of the wax seal, but I mean, still it's, you know, it's fine. It's perfectly usable. I mean, how gorgeous is that as a cover? I really love it, to be honest. It's really pretty. So move that one out of the way. And then the final one that we did is this one here, which again, how gorgeous does that look? And again, you know, if I just would just use some lace or something down the edge of there, you know, again, could probably even use, well, I mean, not that particular thingy bob because it didn't look quite right, but you know, again, a flower, or, you know, I mean, maybe a ruffle or something if you had a suitable coloured ruffle. Let's just try this. You know, you've got like a whole bunch of different choices that you could use. You know, super, super pretty. And obviously, I mean, this is just the cover that I happen to have here, so I'm not saying that this is the best match, because to me, this doesn't feel very colourful. But as we know, you know, I struggle to keep things quite neutral. But yeah, I mean, you could obviously just layer it up with a bit of lace or whatever underneath, maybe a little flower, maybe another, you know, another one of these in a better sort of colour match. And yeah, I mean, not that one again, it's very bright, but oh, have I got some of those little stamps? You see, now I can't quite leave it. Oh no, we've already got one of those on there. Yeah. Anyway, that's the type of thing I'm thinking. Yeah, really, really love them. And wow, how easy is that going to be to just kind of do a cover using those? So, yep, we have done 5, which I think is, you know, really awesome, to be honest, because, you know, they didn't take too long to do. I'm just going to see how many we've got left, because okay, so we have got another 4 to do. So, I mean, I could come back and do another 4 tomorrow, but I don't want to obviously kind of bore you all to tears. But yeah, I mean, obviously by the time that I've had your answer, it would already be tomorrow. So it would be then too late to do them. But yeah, so I will probably come back tomorrow and finish off the other 4, because then they're done and I can put them in my stash. Whereas otherwise I've kind of got them half finished. So yeah, hope that you like them. Hope you had a nice time if you made some along with me. And yeah, have fun, everyone. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys soon. Thanks then. Bye.